remember the Facebook Cambridge Analytica showdown? The drama, the hearings, the whole world glued to their screens. Well, the SEC taking on Cumberland has that same big fight energy, except this time it's crypto on the line. We're diving into a legal battle that could rewrite the rules for the entire crypto world. Our sources. Fresh off the press news from Crypto, the SEC's official legal word, and a very spirited response from Cumberland themselves. So who are they? Cumberland is a heavy hitter in crypto trading based in Chicago, known for making sure there's always someone to buy or sell when you need them. And they are not backing down from the SEC one bit. In fact, their response is raising eyebrows with its enforcement-first critique, but more on that later. First, let's get you up to speed on the SEC's case. They're saying Cumberland has been acting like an unregistered stockbroker, dealing with over $2 billion with a B dollars in crypto since at least 2018.
And that's where it gets interesting. See, the SEC has been trying to assert its authority over the crypto market for a while now. This case hinges on whether they can convince a court that certain cryptocurrencies are actually securities, like stocks. If they win this point, it could give them massive power to regulate the entire industry.
And they're not being vague about it either. The SEC specifically names 5 cryptocurrencies as examples: Polygon, Solana, Cosmos, Algorand, and Filecoin. Okay, let's unpack that. For those of us who aren't fluent in crypto speak, what are these and what makes them stand out?
You've got it. Imagine you're trying to pay someone with Ethereum, but it's slow and expensive. Polygon swoops in to make those transactions faster and cheaper. Solana is known for its speed and ability to handle a lot of transactions. Cosmos, they're trying to build a network where different blockchains can talk to each other, kind of like the internet, but for blockchain technology. Then there's Algorand, focused on security and making decentralized applications work smoothly. And lastly, Filecoin aims to revolutionize how we store data online by making it decentralized.
So we've got a speedster, a networker, a security guard, a problem solver, and a storage guru. It's a real mix, which makes me wonder, why these 5? Is there something about what these specific cryptos do that makes them more likely to be classified as securities in the SEC's eyes? What's the connection to this lawsuit?
That's the million-dollar question. It's possible the SEC sees these particular cryptocurrencies as more vulnerable to their arguments, or maybe it's a strategic move, sending a message to the entire industry.
A warning shot.
Precisely. Now, Cumberland argues they've been open with the SEC, providing thousands of documents over the years. If they were cooperating, why this lawsuit? What's the SEC's angle?
It's true. Cumberland claims they've been playing by the book, or at least trying to, with all that paperwork. This is where it gets really interesting for me. Cumberland isn't just talking the talk, they're walking the walk. What do you make of that?
It's a bold strategy, that's for sure. Cumberland is basically calling out what they see as the SEC's aggressive tactics, this whole enforcement-first approach. Imagine trying to sell shares of Apple stock without going through any of the official channels. No oversight, no investor protections. That's essentially what the SEC is claiming Cumberland did, but with crypto.
Okay, so the SEC is flexing its muscles. Cumberland is pushing back hard. They even compared this lawsuit to a case they won back in 2018 against the CFTC.
And that comparison is important because it highlights the complex web of regulations surrounding crypto. Think of it like this. The CFTC is mainly concerned with how crypto is traded, like bets on its price going up or down. The SEC is focused on how crypto is created and sold, like if it's acting more like a stock.
So different referees, different rule books. This time around, Cumberland's facing the SEC. And the stakes seem a lot higher.
Absolutely. The SEC has more power to reshape the crypto landscape, and they're not afraid to use it. We've seen this with the Crypto.com situation, where they received a Wells notice, basically a heads up that the SEC might come knocking with a lawsuit. Crypto.com didn't wait around. They filed a lawsuit against the SEC first, challenging their authority outright.
Wow, talk about a preemptive strike. It feels like we're watching the Wild West of finance unfold in real time. So it's not just about Cumberland anymore. What does this mean for the future of crypto? Is this the showdown that finally decides who's in charge?
It could be. This case has the potential to set a major precedent for how crypto is regulated in the U.S. If the SEC wins, they could gain a lot more control over the market. We could see stricter rules around buying, selling, and even developing new cryptocurrencies.
But wait, if Cumberland is saying they've cooperated all along, isn't there a chance this gets settled out of court? I mean, lawsuits are expensive and messy for everyone involved, right?
That's always a possibility. Many of these cases end up in settlements. But there's a bigger issue at play here. Both the SEC and the crypto industry are trying to figure out where they stand. This case, and others like it, will likely influence how Congress eventually decides to regulate crypto.
So this is bigger than just one company or one cryptocurrency. Cumberland is just the tip of the iceberg. We've got Ripple Labs locked in its own battle with the SEC, and who knows how many other crypto firms are watching this case with bated breath. It's like watching a slow-motion earthquake. We know it's coming, but we don't know how much damage it will cause.
Exactly. And here's the thing. This case isn't just about legal definitions or who has the most power. It's about the future of how we think about money and invest our resources.
That's what makes this deep dive so fascinating, the human element. Because at the end of the day, this will impact everyday people who are just trying to navigate the world of crypto.
Absolutely. And that's why it's important to understand both sides of the argument.
So let's talk about those arguments for a second. On one hand, some people say that stricter regulation will stifle innovation. They worry that the freewheeling spirit of crypto will be crushed under the weight of government bureaucracy. On the other hand, there's the argument that regulation is necessary for crypto to grow and mature, that it will bring stability, security, and ultimately mainstream adoption.
It's a classic dilemma. Too much regulation can suffocate progress. Too little, and you risk chaos. Finding that balance is the key.
Speaking of precedents, this case reminds me of, well, let's be honest, there's never been a case quite like this before. This is uncharted territory. This feels like one of those moments where the old rules just don't fit anymore, like we need a whole new playbook.
It's true. Right now, the SEC is trying to shoehorn crypto into existing financial regulations, and it's causing a lot of friction.
Exactly, like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. And Cumberland is basically saying, hey, if you want to regulate crypto, you need to come up with rules that actually make sense for crypto.
They're not alone in that sentiment. There's a growing chorus of voices from both inside and outside the crypto world calling for clearer regulatory guidelines.
So is this the case that finally forces Congress to take action? I mean, they've been dragging their feet on crypto regulation for years.
It's definitely a possibility. This lawsuit could be the catalyst that pushes lawmakers to finally create a comprehensive framework for crypto.
Imagine waking up one day and the way you buy Bitcoin is completely different thanks to this one case. Kind of makes you want to pay attention, right?
Absolutely. This is about more than just Cumberland and the SEC. It's about the future of how we interact with money, technology, and the global economy.
It's a lot to wrap your head around, but that's what we do here on The Deep Dive, right? We take these complex topics and break them down to bite-sized pieces.
And hopefully leave you with more questions than answers.
Because the best conversations are the ones that keep going, even after the podcast ends. So what do you think? Is regulation the boogeyman some people make it out to be? Or is it the key to unlocking crypto's true potential? Hit us up on social media and let us know. This conversation is just getting started.